The Season 2 finale left Tommy Egan sitting on top of the world in Chicago, but he's about to face a threat he never saw coming. His two biggest rivals, Miguel Garcia and a dirty cop named Ortega, are at the center of a huge theory that they're about to form an unholy alliance. Their one goal, take Tommy out for good. We are just a few episodes into the final season, and the battle lines are already being drawn. In this video, we're breaking down the spoilers and biggest theories about how this ultimate betrayal could happen and what it means for Tommy's survival in Season 3. Alright, before we jump into the insane theories for the rest of this final season, let's quickly set the stage. Remember how Season 2 ended? It was pure chaos. The joint task force raid that was supposed to finally trap Tommy completely blew up in their faces. Instead, it took out his biggest competitors, Claudia Flynn and Mirkovic of the Serb pipeline. Just like that, Tommy and Diamond, leading the CBI, stepped into that power vacuum, ready to take over a massive piece of the city's drug trade. For a hot minute, it really looked like Tommy had finally won Chicago. But, come on, this is the power universe. It's never that simple. Tommy's win on the streets came with a huge personal price. His relationships with his family, JP and D-Mac, were left completely shattered. And, most importantly, his secret romance with Miguel Garcia was exposed to her brother, and his number one rival, Miguel Garcia. The season ended on that brutal cliffhanger. Tommy, enjoying his professional success, suddenly realized Miguel was in mortal danger. So, as we head into Season 3, which premiered on November 7th, Tommy is at the peak of his power and, at the same time, his most vulnerable. He's got the feds breathing down his neck, a cartel leader who wants him dead for business and personal reasons, and alliances within his own crew that are looking shakier than ever. The official synopsis for the season says it all. Tommy has a growing list of enemies and has to get strategic to protect the people he loves most. And based on what the first few episodes have shown us, that list of enemies might be about to consolidate in the worst way possible. This brings us to the biggest theory, and potential spoiler, for the entire final season. After the events of Episode 3, the idea of an alliance between Miguel Garcia and Detective Ortega has gained major traction. This is the kind of game-changing twist the show is known for. Let's break down why this theory makes so much sense. For Miguel, the motive is obvious. He sees Tommy as the source of all his problems. Tommy has messed with his operation, threatened his place in the Marquez cartel, and, in his eyes, corrupted his sister. Teaming up with a dirty cop gives Miguel exactly what he needs: institutional power. He could get access to police resources, inside information on federal investigations, and the ability to hit Tommy with legal trouble, not just street violence. It's the perfect way to fight a war on two fronts. Now for the other half of this nightmare duo, Detective Ortega. According to episode recaps, after Tommy killed his uncle, Ortega and Miguel have teamed up over their shared hatred for him. Ortega is a cop who plays by gangster rules. By partnering with Miguel, Ortega gets the muscle and street resources to finally corner Tommy. He can manipulate the system from the inside by leaking information, messing with investigations, and pointing law enforcement exactly where Miguel needs them to be. In fact, one report from Episode 3 revealed that Ortega has a mole inside a USA Stacy Mark's own circle, giving him a direct line into the federal investigation against Tommy. Think about what that means. It's the ultimate pincer movement. Tommy is used to fighting gangsters, and he's used to dodging the feds. But he's never had to fight both at the same time, united with the single goal of his complete destruction. This isn't just another turf war, it's a coordinated campaign to tear down his entire empire from the inside out. This is exactly the kind of shocking alliance that sets up an explosive final season. So what does this mean for Tommy? How does a guy who trusts no one survive a betrayal of this scale? This alliance, if it holds, forces Tommy into a corner he's never been in before. As one trailer described him, he becomes a dangerous lone wolf. Every alliance he has is suddenly in question. Let's start with CBI. His partnership with Diamond and Janet has always been on shaky ground, and the first few episodes of Season 3 have already shown massive cracks. After D-Mac survived a shootout, Tommy found out that Diamond and Janet had gone behind his back to bring D-Mac into CBI, only to then plot another attempt on his life. This was a direct challenge to Tommy's authority. How can he go to war with a cop cartel alliance if he can't even trust the men standing next to him? This is where the mind games really start. Tommy has to reevaluate everyone. He knows he needs backup, but his own crew is proving untrustworthy. Spoilers for upcoming episodes suggest he'll have to find a way to protect D-Mac while dealing with the fallout. But his partnerships are built on sand. Shanti has been warning Tommy that the Sampson brothers are only out for themselves, which just adds more poison to the mix. Is she trying to help Tommy, or is she playing her own angle to break up CBI for her own benefit? And then there's Vic Flynn. Vic could become a crucial, if unwilling, asset for Tommy. As a federal informant, he's in the perfect spot to be Tommy's eyes and ears inside the very system that's trying to crush him. He could be the key to getting intel on what Ortega and the feds are planning. But Vic has always been a character trapped between two worlds, and using him is a huge risk. Can Tommy really trust him not to flip or to put his own survival ahead of Tommy's? It's a high-stakes game of information warfare, with Tommy using Vic to counter Ortega's moves while constantly wondering when Vic will inevitably betray him. This alliance doesn't just put the squeeze on Tommy, it destabilizes the entire city. The Marquez cartel, the Albanian mob, and every other crew in Chicago will be forced to pick a side. The result will be pure chaos, turning the city into a full-blown war zone. Tommy isn't just fighting for his empire anymore. He's fighting for his life in a city that's tearing itself apart. With the Miguel Ortega pact looking like the main event, the rest of the final season is set up to be an absolute bloodbath. The gloves are completely off. So what can we predict for the final episodes? First, expect this war to get incredibly personal. With Miguel and Ortega working together, they have the resources to hit Tommy where it hurts, specifically, Mireya. Miguel has already used his sister as leverage, and that's only going to get worse. We'll likely see Tommy forced to make impossible choices between his business and the woman he loves, a classic power theme that always pushes its anti-heroes to the breaking point. Second, the body count is going to be high, and it will almost certainly include major characters. Betrayals that have been seasons in the making are about to explode. Janet's resentment of Tommy and jealousy of Diamond has been simmering since day one. It feels almost certain he'll make a major move against Tommy, probably with disastrous results. Diamond's loyalty will also face its ultimate test. He's a man caught between his own code and the violent reality of the game. Could the pressure from the Alliance and Janet's scheming finally force him to turn on Tommy for good? Third, expect Tommy to get his hands dirty in the legal world. He's not just a brawler, he's a strategist. If he can get information from Vic, Tommy will have to learn to play chess against Ortega in the courtroom and behind the scenes. This could mean he'll have to manipulate a USA Stacey Marks, feeding her information to turn the feds against Miguel, or even find some dirt on Ortega himself to expose his corruption. Tommy has to become as good at legal maneuvering as he is with a gun. Ultimately, this all leads to one final, explosive showdown. It will be Tommy, with whatever's left of his crew, against the combined forces of the Marquez cartel and a corrupt pocket of law enforcement. This is the ultimate fight for his legacy in Chicago. Will he be able to break the alliance and truly conquer the city? Or will the combined weight of the streets and the law finally be too much for him to handle? This season is shaping up to be the most intense chapter of Tommy's story yet. The alliance between Miguel and Ortega changes everything, turning Tommy from the hunter into the hunted. He is surrounded, outgunned, and his own crew is falling apart. This is the final season, and the stage is set for a war that will challenge everything we know about Tommy Egan. But now I want to hear from you. With this unholy alliance now in play, who do you think will be the first major casualty in this war? Will it be one of Tommy's own, like Diamond or Vic? Or will Tommy manage to take out a key player from the other side first? Let me know your predictions in the comments below, and if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button so you don't miss any of our breakdowns for this final, explosive season of Power Book 4, Force.